Live from the Lakeland Times, it's Oxley's Observations. Dive into the hottest topics, local and national, in the sports scene. Exclusive content only given to you by the Lakeland Times. Here's Jim Oxley.
Welcome to the first edition of Oxley's Observations. I'm Jim Oxley, sports writer for the Lakeland Times in Minocqua, Wisconsin. Our first installment will focus on Missouri Tigers defensive end and NFL prospect Michael Sam, who is hoping to become the NFL's first openly gay player. Sam publicly announced he was gay last Sunday during an interview with the New York Times, and the announcement was immediately spread throughout social media, receiving varying but mostly positive feedback. And while the reaction on social media has been more positive than negative, an article in Sports Illustrated by Pete Thamel and Thayer Evans said that NFL executives expect his stock to drop come the draft in May. They write in the article, in blunt terms, they project a significant drop in Sam's draft stock, a publicity circus, and an NFL locker room culture not prepared to deal with an openly gay player. Sam, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, was projected as a mid to late round draft pick prior to his announcement. What I personally fear will happen with this situation is that Michael Sam will, as predicted before he came out publicly, be drafted in the later rounds, and the reaction to that draft position will be that it was because of his announcement. People will think, hey, what's going on here? The SEC Defensive Player of the Year is getting drafted in the 5th round. Has to be because he came out as gay. When in reality, the reason he's going to be drafted later has more to do with his size and ability. Sam's a tweener. He played defensive end at Missouri, but he's probably too small to play the position in the pros. He'll likely need to transition to an outside linebacker spot once he's drafted, and will face the process of learning a completely new position. In the Senior Bowl in late January, before he came out, Sam played at outside linebacker, and his struggles were well documented. At his defensive end spot during the season, he had 30 solo tackles and 10.5 sacks, and he did pick up another sack in the bowl game against Oklahoma State. But 9 of those 10.5 sacks during the season came against Arkansas State, Vanderbilt, and a Florida team that had its first losing season since 1979. And I'm not trying to knock Sam as a player, because he was clearly a force for the Tigers' defense that gave up just 23.1 points per game this season. But it is obvious that Sam was a difference maker for his team, and he's a brave individual for being unafraid to be who he is in public. I'm sure Sam will make the NFL roster he ends up on a better team, and many NFL coaches, including Bill Belichick and Mike McCarthy, have already shared their thoughts on the player, each saying they would take him on their team if he can produce on the field. Questions will definitely arise about the locker room and how it will function with an openly gay athlete. But look at what Missouri did this season. Sam came out to his teammates in August, and not only did they keep a secret until they decided the time was right to come out, Missouri went out and won the SEC East, made it to the SEC Championship game where they lost in a shootout to Auburn, and then got a win in the Cotton Bowl to end the season. Sam's teammates hold him in high regard, and if NFL executives are worried about welcoming Sam into their locker room, maybe they can learn a lesson from the Missouri Tigers. If Sam doesn't get drafted until the 5th round, let's hope it's because of the football player he is on the field, not his off-the-field lifestyle.